Hello, friends. Glenda Mollett here, and welcome to my craft room. I'm back. I am back, and we had a fabulous time in Prince George, British Columbia, at the Summer Special Olympics Games. There we are. I'm just trying to find me live. It was cold and wet and rainy. I'm surprised it didn't snow. It was so cold. Come on, Facebook. There we go. Hey, almost there. But it was the perfect weekend for the athletes to do their thing because every time I go live, I get a message. It was cool enough for them to do all of their competitions, and they didn't get heat stroke, and we weren't worried about sunscreen and sunburns. Hello, Norma. Hello, Alice. Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me get rid of that for a sec. Yes, YouTube and Facebook are working. Yay! That's awesome. So we got home last night about 9:30 after the most wet trip we have ever had from central northern BC down to the coast where we live. It was a very strange trip weather-wise because in July, it's usually 25, 26 up there with lots of sunshine. Hello, Valerie. And this time we had one day that had a tiny bit of sunshine. The rest of the time, it was rainy, which was bizarre. But like we're home. Jesse and the kids traveled down with us in their own vehicle, and they're here for a few days. So this I'm hoping to keep short and sweet because a little girl is waiting on her tubby time. And I get to give it to her. Yay! Okay, let me flip you around. So this week I am featuring the Charming Day bundle. I will be live tonight, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I got 3 different coloring techniques for you. Hi, Pat. 3 different coloring techniques for you this week. This one, today's is Stampin Blends. Tomorrow, it's coloring on vellum. And then Thursday, I'm going to do watercoloring. So we'll see what happens. So tonight, I'm using Memento ink. I will be coloring with Timid Tiger and Light Cajun Craze, Old Olive, and Dark Mossy Meadow. Because when you're coloring with Stampin' Blends, you don't have to stick to the same colors. You can use all sorts of different colors and blend them. And if you're trying to use like real red or cherry cobbler, and you want it to have a really dark shadow on it, try dark smoky slate or light basic black. That really helps to bring the shadows out. This one I'm not. I'm using Stampin' Blends. And this here is a die cut. And I'm going to show you how I got that technique on the die cut as well. I will be using the Charming Day bundle, stamp sets, and the dies. And the Stylish Shapes dies number 4. So that's this one. I'll just grab it while I'm here. The Damask embossing folder. And I'm going to finish it off with this year's In Color Flat Pearls. Okay, so let me get myself organized here. There we go. So there is a piece here of white that I have die cut and then embossed with Damask embossing folder. And it's up on dimensionals. And then there's a piece of vellum in behind it to soften the center of that. I've got some ribbon around there. This is this Timid Tiger ribbon, 5.5 inches and 4 inches. And I see I tied it a little too tight and ripped my paper. That's okay. And on the inside, hello, Connie. I put the sentiment on the inside of this one. I didn't want to clutter the front up with a sentiment, so I stuck it on the inside like that. And there's the envelope. I don't usually color the envelope because to me it's a waste because I know they're going to throw it away. Unless you get an envelope like the one I got today. And let me show you what I got in the mail. Well, it wasn't today, it was yesterday when we got home. I got a whole bunch of stuff. First of all, I got a card from Valerie. Look at how gorgeous that is. And Valerie put a stamp on it. Do you see the stamp? Hi, Diane. It is pretty, isn't it? Yeah, this is the second frog stamp she's given me. This one they canceled, so I can't reuse it, but I can keep the card. And then Connie sent me a whole package. She said, I thought you could use some Disney to scrapbook your trip. Looking forward to seeing your pages. So apparently Connie thinks I'm going to be scrapbooking. She's probably right. So she sent me a card. Look at this fun Disney card. Isn't that cute? And it's even got Disney on the inside. And she sent me will work for craft supplies card. Look at her coloring. Is that amazing? And these are all die cuts on top of that background that she created. She created that background. And there's the inside. She used the Corner Springs die on the inside for the flowers. And an envelope. She made an envelope. And a whole bag full of push-outs, die cut things for Disney. And some paper, some 6x6 designer paper with Disney colors and images on it. Look at this. Oh, that's so fun. Now I need to scrapbook my Disney trip. Yes, I do. Okay, so thanks, Connie, for sending me all these goodies. And I will be sure to share what I create with them. And don't let me forget, I have the Share It Saturday to draw for July the 5th. Okay, where did I put my kit? Really? I must have just scooped it up in that. I did too. My kit was all ready and then I scooped it up with Connie's stuff. Okay, so I have an envelope. I have a Mossy Meadow card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and scored and folded in half. Yes, Valerie, you are bad. You are very, very bad. Hello, Carol. Then I have, I don't have a basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. I'll get one. Piece of designer paper. Now this is the Floral Charm designer paper. It is in the whole, this is a suite. So this comes in the suite and it's 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have 3 by 4 1/4 and that's that piece. There's the piece of vellum that goes in behind. It's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Then I have a piece that's 4 by 4 to do all the bits. And then I just threw this in just in case I needed it. I have 5.5 inches of ribbon and I have 4 inches of ribbon. So let me grab a white inside, which I already have cut because I get them cut by the hundreds. Valerie got her parcel today and the case for the stamp is crushed in the top corner. Oh, Valerie, can you send me either a message or an email and I will get that taken care of for you? Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, sometimes issues happen in the mail. Okay, let's do this first. Did you lose Valerie's address now? Maybe I should, Alice. Maybe I should lose her address for sending me a frog. Oh my God, how fun. Okay, so I'm going to die cut first. Now, when you're embossing and die cutting, you always die cut first and then emboss. Otherwise, you will flatten your embossing out when you die cut. So we're going to die cut this. That's on there. And this is the piece I'm going to stamp. Oh, I know what that piece is for. It's all coming back to me now. I'm not worried, but Stamping Up needs to know that this is happening, that they're having issues with their shipping. Okay, I'm stamping this in Memento ink. This is the big one. Leah, like you don't know that, right? And then we're going to stamp the little one in the corner. And those are going to be die cut. And then I'm going to stamp one on the envelope. Hang on, I'm having an avalanche. Stamp that in the corner of the envelope and in the corner of the inside piece. And this is going to be a hot dog card. Just pop that in there like that. And stamping happy birthday on the inside. I don't usually do this. It's really weird. But this card really needed it on the inside. Is that a pretty font for that happy birthday? And that's part of the set. I'm not using any other stamps other than what comes with the stamp set. And then I'm going to die cut. Let's close this up. Still have a couple more froggy stamps. Oh, Valerie's going to threaten me with frog stamps now. Everywhere we went in Quesnel, the children were pointing out frogs. We go into the drugstore and it had 2 frogs in it. And we went into another store and it had 2 frogs in it. We went into the dollar store and it had frogs in it. Yeah. Sorry, I just needed some more Post-it things here. And we're going to grab die for the big one. How was your trip? My trip was amazing, Connie. Other than the weather, we had lots of grandchildren time with both of the grandchildren, both sets of grandchildren, because of course one lives there and the other set were up there competing in the games. So we got to watch. We went every day, Friday and Saturday, both days we went and watched the kids in the games. And afterwards and the day before and the day after, we had time with the local kids that live up there. Okay, now I'm going to cut. This is one of the dies from the die set. Hello, Alice from Ontario. How the heck are you? Been a while, girl. Okay, just getting these on my cutting plate here, and we're going to cut those out. Oh, Kim, was your order one of the ones that was caught in that pallet on the 26th-ish that UPS forgot about? I'm so sorry. That sucks. So the kids that live up there actually went in the pool, even though it was raining. They still were in their pool. It was way too cold for me to go in, so I did not spend time in their pool. That just did not happen. But we did get to have snuggles, and of course they're here now, so I get even more snuggles. And then Mummy has to go to a wedding on Saturday, so we get them for about 48 hours with no parents. How much can we spoil grandchildren in 48 hours? A lot, she says with a chuckle. Okay, so that's cut out. That's cut out. That's cut out. This, I am going to, oh, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. That's okay. I'm going to put this on here and I'm going to emboss this. So I'm just kind of centering it side to side between the embossy things. Up a little bit. There we go. We'll go with that. Now this is one of the thin embossing folders. So the sandwich is a bit different. I don't want to put this on top of here because sometimes they go to the cutting machine with me. Plate number 1, a plate number 3, your embossing folder, and another plate number 3. So this is not 3D. This is, they call them just the regular embossing folders. Lots and lots of what, Valerie? Sorry, I missed your comment when it's coming in about whatever it was. Okay, so there's that. Now I think we have all of our bits and we can do some coloring. Okay, so I'm going to take the big one first. We're going to color it. And I'm going to color the flowers in Timid Tiger and then put some light Cajun Craze. So I do light to dark, but dark to light works too. Whatever feels more normal and comfortable for you. So I'm just going over a few of the petals. And when you're working with these and you want to do blending, don't work with a lot of them at once because you have to keep your cardstock wet in between layers of color. We're just going to do a few petals. You can always go back and add more color too if it dries out. Make sure you get good inkage. Now, if you start dark to light, then it would be a totally different process. And I always lift up, make sure it's going through to the other side, because in order for this to blend properly, you need to have that ink going through. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of dark Timid Tiger on there, not quite out to the very edge. But I don't know whether you can see this or not, but it is doing a fabulous job of blending itself. So I'm not going to have to go back and blend, I don't think, with the light. And then I'm going to put a little bit of, what is this? Light Cajun Craze right up against the edge where the petals underneath will be shadowed by the petals on top. And I'm just adding just a thin line there. Like that. Now I'll show it to you. Here's what it looks like so far. Is the damask folder part of the suite? It says she who has the suite but hasn't looked at it yet except for the paper. I don't know, Alice. I can't remember. This is an online exclusive. I have to color my flower before I look. Sorry. Otherwise, I'm going to lose. Oh, it blended itself. That's kind of cool. It's too hot. Valerie says she goes brain dead when it's hot. Wait. Light Timid Tiger. Okay, let's get the center of this done now. Right out to the edge. Making sure I get good inkage in there. I could look at my sheet for what's in the suite, but I can't stop coloring a flower once I start because then it will dry out and then you have to start all over again, adding more ink. So then just over check. I don't have quite enough on there, so let's just go over it a little bit more. That's much better. A little bit up in here. There we go. Now you can see where I've colored it with all 3 colors versus where I just have the one. Oh, thanks, Linda. Thanks for watching. Good night. Linda lives on the East Coast and it's very late for her. And up here, like this. And then I'm going to take the light, what is this? Light Cajun Craze. Oh my God. Colors and words are difficult tonight. And I'm just making sure that the center is the dark, because if you look at the flowers, the centers are usually the darkest, right? Because that's where all the new growth is, and that's where the shadows are. Okay, so I'm just going to go over top of this with the light just once, just to blend. I know it's blending really well because I've got lots of color on there, but that just finishes it off. South Dakota, isn't that the East Coast? I guess not. Kind of further in. I know you're over on the other side somewhere, right? Light Timid Tiger. Now this flower is small enough that I can do the entire thing at once. So we're going to put lots of color on here, being careful I don't color the leaves. There we go. Get a good inkage on here. So in the comments, tell me, does anybody have this bundle yet, or the suite, or whatever it is? That was light. Now I'm going in with the dark, Timid Tiger. Like that. Adds a little bit of shadow, and then go in with the light Cajun Craze right along the lines here, and right in the very center. Like that. A little bit in there. And then we'll go back over with the light just to last blend. And that's how I color flowers. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to color the little one. So I'm going to do that while I have this open, and the inside one. So we got light. This better be light. Oh, I should have showed you the light versus the dark. How to do you guys? North Central. Oh, okay. Thanks, Connie. Valerie doesn't have it. Alice has it. Norma has it. Valerie finally got into your room and made some cards. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And the center. Oh, shoot. That was supposed to be straight. Cajun Craze. Oh, well. The nice thing about Stampin' Blends is if you do it a light color and you don't like it, then just go over it with a dark color and you won't even be able to tell that the light color was underneath there. Okay, I'm just adding some dark Timid Tiger. And then light Cajun Craze. And I'm just going to do the full center of this flower. See, you can't even tell that I've got light underneath there. And a little bit of shadows right around the center. There we go. And we'll just do this, just pull those colors all together. And we're done. Surgery is now going to be maybe September or later. Oh my gosh. That sucks. Poor Dave. I always take 2 or 3 swipes of the pen and then I think, oh, was that the light or the dark? Do you guys have a favorite of how you use the Stampin' Blends? Do you go light to dark or dark to light? Which way do you prefer to use them? When I was taught by my friend Candy many years ago, before Stampin' Up had alcohol markers. I learned with Copics. And she taught me how she does it. And she goes light to dark. And her coloring is, or used to be, amazing. Unfortunately, she doesn't color a lot anymore. I will answer any questions that you have once I'm done this. I get coloring. See, you don't have to take a lot of time to color. Okay, we're done with that one. We're done with that one. Oh, shoot. Oh, well, you don't see that, did you? You didn't see that. Oh, you know what I can do? I can use the color lifter. Let me grab my color lifter. So can you see that little speck right there where I dropped my pen? Color lifter doesn't lift it, doesn't erase it. It pushes it through to the back. So you just put it on and let it work. And then I'll show you in a minute what it does. Okay, now we're going to do some leaves. And we're going to start, we'll have Old Olive, Light and Dark, and Dark Mossy Meadow. We're going to do them exactly the same way. I'm going to put light on here. Lots of it. Hello, Allison. Ooh, Kim should hopefully have it by Friday. Pat goes light to dark. Norma goes light to dark. Yep, you can do it either way. When I do the little one, I'll try and remember. When I do the inside one, maybe that's what I'll do. When I do the inside one, I'll do dark to light and show you the difference. If you do it properly, there is no difference. I just find it a lot quicker and easier to blend by starting with the light. And sometimes when I'm doing this, I don't color right out to the edges. I leave a little bit of white just to add a little bit more texture to your colored image. And then, oh, I know what we should do. We should add some white gel marks on here. And I'll show you what that does for the overall scheme of things. So I'm just going to go right up the center, and then this is dark Old Olive. And I'm leaving the tips light. Like that. There we go. So if this is boring and you're watching on the replay, just fast forward. If you're watching me live, thank you for putting up with my coloring. I am trying to do it quickly. Okay, now Old Olive does not blend as well as the Timid Tiger does. So it does take a little bit more ink, even though I got a good base on there. Just get this, a little bit there. And then I have to go back with the light and just blend it all together. Some colors blend really well. Some colors need a little bit more ink than others. And of course, it's also what you want it to look like. If you like your leaves looking like that, then leave them looking like that. If you want them well blended, then well blend them. That's what I like about Stampin' Blends is there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever looks good to you, whatever makes your heart happy. This is a really good set for blending and practicing your coloring skills because there's little areas, there's big areas, and there's leaves and flowers. And leaves and flowers are perfect for Stampin' Blends. So who out there has all of the Stampin' Blends? Or who's in the process of getting all of the Stampin' Blends? Or do you not have any at all? Some people don't like coloring, and I get that. Coloring is not for everyone. And that's why there's so many different stamps, line art stamps and full stamps and distinctive stamps. So you can do any amount of coloring or none if you don't want. And then there's the stamps with the filler inners that you don't have to color at all. And you still get, it still looks like you're coloring because you fill it in. But as you see, you don't have to take a lot of time to do this. Now the other two techniques I'm going to show you this week for coloring are also quick and easy techniques. Okay, light, dark, bold olive, down the center, and right there. Now you don't have to do 3 colors if you don't want. You technically don't have to do 2 colors either if you don't want. But I thought I would show you that you don't have to use just the 2 colors. And these big ones, they're kind of get your creative juices going because there's lots of room in there to put your dark shadows on things. I spent part of today getting my flights for Las Vegas in November for the next Stamping Up. The next Stamping Up event. It was time consuming and frustrating because apparently I leave out of Comox, I can go to Vegas via Calgary in 6 hours. To come home, 12 hours, minimum 12 hours. So I ended up doing 2 one-way fares because WestJet had a sale on the ends today. So I got going there, I saved money on it. And then coming home, I booked through Nanaimo because I can get back to Nanaimo in 7 hours instead of the 12 to 14 that they wanted to get me back to Comox. It was stupid. But I'm all booked. Got my travel insurance, got my event tickets, got the hotels all straightened out. Okay, just about done. I know I'm nattering and blethering, and you're probably going, oh my God, woman, shut up. Shut up. There we go. Okay, I've got to go back and read. Love to watch coloring. I need a lot more practice, so picked up lots of tips. I try to give you lots of tips, Diane. I'm glad you watch it. Oh, Connie has them all. Sherry has them all. Hello, Sherry. Alice has some and adding. Connie, it sure is. They decided they needed one more test before surgery, so that puts them back at the line again. Oh my God. There we go. Okay. So the little one, I'm going to do dark to light. The event is in Las Vegas, Nevada, Valerie, and it's not a trip I earned. This is like a convention for team leaders. But I go because it's a party. We try to have 4 in our hotel room. So I can't wait. There. So that's the dark. Then I'm going in with my dark old olive. So that was what was that? Dark mossy meadow. Now I'm going in with my dark old olive, I'm going right over top of the edges of that, and just adding in the dark old olive where I want it. And you can see right away that it doesn't blend like the first way does. And I'm not going over top of the whole thing. I'm just going over top of the edges of it. You can go over top of the whole thing, but it's a waste of ink because you don't need to. And then I'm going in with my light old olive, and that's where you go back and you do the whole everything right over top of everything. And you do get basically the same look. And I'll hold them up so that you can have a good look at them when I'm done here. Then I just have the leaves on the inside to do. Okay, so there's that. And I did that dark to light, the leaves, dark to light, and there's the light to dark leaves. Now remember, these leaves are smaller, so there wasn't as much area to get them colored as light as I did on this one. So do you have a preference now that you've seen both ways to do it? Where's my inside? Let's get the leaves. Going in with my light old olive. I find that I really need to keep on top of my old olive Stampin' Blends because I use them a lot, which means they dry out really fast. Well, they don't dry out; they're out of ink. Because this is my favorite color for leaves, old olive. I would like to try garden green, but we don't have garden green ones, Stampin' Blends. And I don't know why we don't have all the colors, but we don't have that one. Whoops, out of the lines. It's okay. I have my color lifter. So that was light going in with dark now. Right up the middle. I was really surprised that it was actually cheaper for me to go with 2 one-way tickets than it was to get a return ticket. Because coming home, of course, it takes so long and it was expensive. Vegas should be nice weather when you visit it. Hi, Mary. Yes, it should be. Absolutely. We were there 2 years ago, I think it was. It was wonderful, except that they had floods while we were there. Because whenever I go somewhere, the weather is not usually what it's supposed to be. The first time I went to Alaska with my mom, it was hotter than normal. Then hubby and I went to Alaska and the weather was hotter than normal. Then I went on the Stamping Up Alaska cruise and the weather was hotter than normal. Did the Thailand trip and well, it was hot, period. Hot, because it's always hot in Thailand, Vietnam, and Korea. We were all 3 places. But we did the Greek Isle cruise and it was very hot. It was hotter than normal. Okay, so here's the one where I colored light to dark. There's the one where I colored dark to light. There is no difference. So don't worry if you have your favorite way of doing it and it's not the same as my way of doing it. Okay, so now I got a little bit of green outside the lines. I'm just going to take my color lifter and push that through to the back. And then you can just a little bit see that spot. So I'm just going to add a little bit more on that. There we go. And what it does is it pushes the color through to the back. So it takes it off of the top of your card. Okay, now I said, let's put some white dots on here. This is an extra fine tip Artistro marker that I got from Amazon. Let me just take this. I just want to make sure it's working. It's a gel pen. And I'm just going to put dots down the spines of all the leaves, because I find that this really adds some really cool interest to your card just by adding a few white dots. Oops, that was not a dot, it was a dash. And then let's put a few here. Here we go. There's some dots. And of course we have to do this one because it's going on the, oops, where'd that paper go? So this is like a paint pen and you have to, I call it milking it. You have to milk it. Keep paint down at the tip. You guys do this? Do you add white dots to things? Do you like this kind of a technique? Or do you prefer it without the dots? Now this one, let's just do it on the back. This is that. So I've taken the dark Timid Tiger and did the buds. Oh, I guess I did light Timid Tiger. Oh well, we're doing dark on this one. Let's do the buds on there. Find I go back to the markers more than the blends. That's fine. Whatever works for you, Val. Right now there was a large fire a bit north of Vegas. Oh, that's not good. Way too many fires. There is. I don't think we have to worry about fires in north central BC right now. Splatter dots. Yep, that works too, Connie. Okay, there's all that. And now I'm going to take my light Old Olive. And I'm going to do the leaves. Let's get a good coating on there. The Stampin' Write markers work for coloring too. They just give you a different result. There we go. This one. Now I'm going to do some blending on these, so I'm just going to do half of them. And then I'm going to go back and go in with my dark Old Olive and just add a little bit of color to the bottom, right up the center of the leaves, and then a little bit on the bottom. And then I'm going to go in with the Mossy Meadow and do the stems. I'll go back over with the light again. This is just a cool way if you don't want to have like a straight green, or you don't want to have gold or silver or one of the specialty papers. You can cut it out of white and then use your blends or your markers or blending pan, anything to color that. And you can see that it's blending the same way my flowers did. What did I use to make the dots? Julie Wind. It is called an Artistro extra fine tip, 7mm water-based ink. And I got it off of Amazon. I should really have affiliate links to Amazon products when I tell you that I use certain things, because I could get a finder's fee for recommending stuff to you guys, but I haven't done that. And hello, Julie. I don't think I said hello to you yet. Now, I think I did ask if you like the dots on or you don't like the dots on. And if you don't like it, let me know, because not everybody has the same likes and dislikes, right? We've had the air conditioning on in our house all day today because it was so blessedly hot outside. Hit 37 here again. And after being up north in the 14-degree weather, it was quite the change to come back to this, I'll tell you. But as usual, I spent most of the day with a sweater on anyways. So. 2 more to blend, and then I'm going to get my Mossy Meadow and do the stems. There's one bud I forgot to do too. To go back in with the marker and do that bud. So, a few tips and tricks on coloring tonight. I hope it helps you to be a little bit more confident coloring. Okay, there's one little piece still in there, so we'll get rid of that. And I'm going to get my Mossy Meadow. Could I show the dots up close? Yes, Sherry, I can. Hang on. If I can pick them up. There you go. Is that close enough? I could find you a link, Julie. I don't have one off the top of my head. Valerie likes the dots. It's a different texture. It is. Yes, Winka Stella. Absolutely. That makes amazing finishes on your flowers. Now this is Mossy Meadow. So I'm just going in and coloring the stems. When you're doing this, you have to make sure that you get right to the edge of your stems, otherwise, or whatever you're coloring. Otherwise you will have white showing, which is okay if that's the look you're going for. Okay, just about done. I'm not blending this. I'm just straight coloring it because these stems are quite thin and there's no way to blend it. So have you guys done this technique before with die cutting in white and coloring? We did bulrushes when we were doing the Duck Pond Lane, I think it wasn't that what it was called? Lily Pond Lane. And we did brown over top of green and it worked really well. So there we go. There's our colored white. Sherry loves the white, the dots. Norma says, cool look. Okay, we've got our stuff done and we're going to start putting things together now. Where's my hole? Here's my hole. And the vellum. We're just going to put some, I'm going to put a row. Oh, my glue's not running. Come on. Come on. My glue is mad at me because it hasn't been used in a week. I'm just running a bead of glue around that hole. Then I'll put the vellum on when it dries. And this needs to have glue on the back. And you can see the back it's almost the same as the front because of all the coloring saturation of the cardstock. Now, when I put that on, I put it flat, and I think I'm going to do the same thing just because it's easier. Come on. Man, this glue is really mad at me. Okay, we'll let that dry. Okay, put that over there. This, I'm going to put vellum on top like that. And I'm using my big dimensionals here. And I don't want it to collapse, so I'm going to put some around the holes as well. This. Okay, and I think one more piece should be just about enough. Yes, I fully admit to being an over-dimensionalizer. It should be a Canada link. Oh, Connie, you're wonderful. First time seeing this. Awesome idea. Thanks, Mary. Okay, now we're going to take Stampin' Seal and put some on the side. We're going to get the ribbon on here. So this is 5.5 inches, and I'm going to put it around right about there. Like that. And then I'm going to use my grid paper to line it up and make sure it's straight. Oh, look at that. Straight the first time. Yeehaw. And a couple of strips of Heron tape. Put over top of it to hold it in place. Like that. Now I am, what time is it getting to be? Oh, just about time to finish. There we go. And we're going to put this onto the card base. Like this. And put my 4-inch piece around. And tie it into a knot. That. There. Ribbon scissors. Just snip that excess ribbon off. This is going to go on. I like dimensionals. I don't like my stuff when it caves in. Oh, they must have done laundry. My house is rattling. Okay, so now this is going to go on here towards the right-hand side at the bottom-ish. Let's get this straight, like that. And then this one just goes on flat. So I'm just going to add some adhesive there. And we're going to put this on here in this corner, and it's hanging off. Let's not hang it off quite as much because I want to show that little bit of ribbon there. Here we go. Now, this one goes on. And it's going to go on right about like that. And then I'm going to trim this off. I don't need it. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the flower. Like that. Ooh, look at that. It even worked. Yay. Now, grab some of these and slide them underneath. Once you get all of the pieces done, it's really easy to put this card together. So who's going to give coloring with Stampin Blends a try? Valerie, do you guys not have a heat pump over there? There we go. And there's our card. Now, Wink of Stella, because you know you have to have Wink of Stella on the flowers. Down the centers of the leaves. Now you have to be really careful with this because that white pen is water-based and Wink of Stella is water-based. So you could technically reactivate that ink that you've got going on there, the white stuff, and have a big white streaky mess. I'm trying to avoid it if I can. A little bit of Wink Costello on the roses. There we go. Put the inside in, and then all we have to do is put the embellishments on. And we're done. Oh, dragon knot. No, I forgot about it. Totally forgot about it, Alice. Pat says she loves Stampin' Blends. Valerie says nope. She's not going to do it. Alice is up for a bit of coloring. Mary Shane, coloring can be very relaxing. It can. And Miss Connie says, lovely card. Thank you. Okay, let's grab. Nope, those are pink. Those aren't going to work. There's the Timid Tiger ones. And I think this time I'm just going to put 3 on. 1, 2, 3. This one I put 5 on, but this one I think I'm only going to put 3 because we have all those dots on there. And you did make a note of it. I know, but you know, where the heck did the note go? I don't know. There we go. There's our card. There's version A and version B. Version B has white dots, version A does not, but basically they're exactly the same card. Thank you so much. If you have enjoyed my video, and you're watching on Facebook, please hit those emojis and let Facebook know that it's a good video and it will send it out to more people. And if you are, oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Kim loves to color. Don't forget the draw. Thank you, Alice. Draw. I appreciate you being my assistant. Valerie, I have your address, girl. Thanks, Norma, Mary Shane, Sherry. You guys are also kind. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button right down there and subscribe to my channel. And now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get my wheel of names up and ready to go. And then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do that. So I can take this down. And we are going to draw for the July the 5th Share It Saturday. Now, if you are not part of my VIP group, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Every Saturday, I do a post in my VIP group only, and stampers go in and put pictures of the cards that or the project that they've created all week. And then it runs from Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to the next Saturday morning at 8 o'clock when the next one goes up. And then I do a draw every week that I remember. And somebody gets a hand stamped card from me and a little gifty on the inside. And yes, you can live in Canada, you can live in the States, you can live in Australia, England, New Zealand, wherever you live, I will send you a card. Oh, good, Alice. I hope you try it. Thanks, Julie. Yes, Connie, I'm going to do the draws. Okay, so I need to do this. And then we'll go over here. And there's the draw. Delete the Share It Saturday, July the 5th heading and the row. And then I hit shuffle twice. And the winner is, drum roll, please, Linda. Linda's card number 1. Congratulations, Linda. Linda has shared 7 cards with us that week. How exciting. Look at all the... I'm going to close this now that I know who it is. I'm going to close it. Look at all the card shares we had that week. Is that amazing? Okay, I'm going to go back here, go here, do that. Oops, do that. Hello, I'm back. Go back over here just so I can say good night to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching me. I hope you get inspired to color. I will be back tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. with another technique, coloring with vellum. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Stampin' Smiles. Bye for now.